What's up, gangsters? It's me, Neill Smith, Ashley King, One Way Fighting Podcast this week. And what are we going to do? We're going to look forward first, or are we going to look back? Rob Van Garbrandt.
I say we'll look back, look at the weekend that's just been. Mate, what a performance by Rob Font. Stepped up and just controlled the fight, didn't he, with his jab? Just looked so good against like a tough Cody who, you know, people question the chin of Cody, but you know what, like it held up for all 5 rounds, to be fair. So I think there's positives to take away from both guys, but for Rob Font, though, what a performance by him. Definitely on to, like, I'll probably say top 3 next, definitely. Like, he set himself up for a big fight, like, definitely.
Yeah, I mean, it was interesting to see Petr Yan fucking come out and first he called out Cody Garbrandt saying, I'm still going to get round to beating your ass. And then he called out Rob Font after that. And I think it's one of them. Rob Font put on a really technical performance. That you say the jab was the story, really, wasn't it?
Yeah.
He even come out after us claiming he had the best jab ever. I've never known him for his jab before, but obviously off the back of that performance, you know, it was a decent jab. But jab's a jab, mate. You know, I'd rather be Enganu and have the greatest strength and just kill people with it, like, than just jab someone's head off for 4 or 5 rounds. It is what it is. If that's what he wants, he's the king of the jabs. But well done, you. But yeah, mate. I mean, I feel bad for Garbrandt because I wasn't a big fan, but you got to admire the kid, like what he's done.
Yeah.
You know, I just feel like he's had a tough fight there, mate. He was more technical. Yeah. He didn't get to sit down on any punches really and throw something big back like he did in the Ass and South fight. And I think that's what he was looking for, but he never really got to compose himself.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I think with Cody, he was just beaten by a guy who was just better. I feel like he stayed controlled. He stayed controlled. Because obviously, on the last podcast, this is what we were saying. We were like, he gets into these kind of, these like, really kind of heated exchanges and stuff, and he always gets caught and everything like that. Obviously, it happened both against TJ Dillashaw and it happened against Pedro Munoz. But with this one, even when he got caught, he just didn't get involved. He stayed composed and everything like that. You could probably make the argument where maybe in this fight he probably should have. I mean, he definitely should have threw more. But I do think that was credit to Rob Font for just not letting him settle, like, as you said, keeping him at bay with the jab and just throwing him off his rhythm. So yeah, I think there's just more credit to Rob Font. But I think Cody would definitely be back though. I'm excited to watch him again, like, definitely.
Yeah, it's one of them things now. I kind of get tired of, like, I'm an idiot. I look at the forums. And people are like, oh, do you reckon he'll fight again? I mean, was he...
Obviously, yeah.
He come off the back of the win for Ass and Sal, but he'd lost 2 prior to that. He's got like 3 out of the last 5, hasn't he? And it's like, it's MMA, man. It's a one-punch sport. And you know, I know he didn't get knocked out or not, but you can't. People just keep saying, oh, he'll be back. Of course he'll be back. How old is he?
He's only young still. He's only young.
30 or something, 31 or something, I think. And maybe I might be wrong on his age, but I do get tired of that, though. As soon as someone has a loss and they're a big name, like Garbrandt was to his former champ, and people are like, oh, he'll be back. I mean, you look at Pettis, the amount of times Pettis suffered losses, but then kept coming back. And sometimes people just have a bad form.
Yeah, like, well, that's similar situation. What you're saying there of like people that have like 1 or 2 losses and you think, well, that's it. I used Donald Cerrone as a really good example. So back a few years ago, I think he lost maybe like 2 fights or something like that, like on the bounce and all that. And then he went out and he beat Alexander Hernandez. And then he beat Alexander Hernandez, and there was another guy. Off the top of my head, I can't remember. But it was 2 good. Oh, Al Iaquinta. That was it. Beat Al Iaquinta. Yeah. And that's what I'm saying. Like, he beat 2 upcoming guys, really good guys. And at that point, people were still saying, you know, he was done. Obviously, yeah, now's a bit of a different situation. I generally believe he is at the end of his career.
I think that is,
but I think the point of what you're saying is, and I completely agree. It's kind of this mentality. People have like a boxing mentality where it's like in boxing, you could be like 40-0 and you lose one fight, and most people then kind of retire. Yeah, and it's like MMA is just not that sport. It's like, as you said, you can go on a 2-fight losing streak. You can lose your debut, lose 2 fights, and you know what I mean. You can go on and lose 2 fights, come back and win like another 10, and boom, you're there. It's just a different sport. It's just different, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, the boxing mentality is right, because you got Mayweather saying he's the greatest of all times. You got people who've gone out and fought 100 times against whoever's in the rankings. Like Chavez was like about 50, 60 before he lost his first, and then went on to win. I think he had about 110, 120 fights, and he had like a 79 win streak at one point. And it's like, well, I'm the best because I've never lost. You fought 50 fucking people, man, and you picked your fights. I mean, he fought some of the best, but he picked them at the time. You know, take Canelo while he's young, take Pacquiao when he's old. It's one of them, like, it is a boxing mentality. Like, you lose one, that's it. And then if you manage to get a clean record, then you're the greatest. Not always the case. But
no.